Okay, this 6 step, I would today I just want to concentrate on the awaken from coma concept, because all the rest I have already explained before. So I just concentrate on the awaken from coma concept in more detail, and some of the new things I have discovered and share with you today. So let's go on to the next screen. Okay, this screen I think you have seen before. Those who attended my previous webinar, you probably have seen this screen. I'm not going through the whole entire screen in detail. I just want to just refresh your memory how to recognize when a number is in range or overdue, or for that matter, not due. Uh, Especially for those who are new here, you need to understand this thing first before you can understand later when I talk about overdue, not due, in range. Okay, uh, very quickly, you can see that we have actually divided the number into, I mean, the number status into firstly, not due. Uh, Not due is when the number is below the minimum interval. In this case, this example, minimum is 4. You can see it's 4. If can you see? If not, I just have to enlarge it a bit. Is it big enough? If not, I can still enlarge to 100%. Okay. Now, when a number we said not due is that the interval is below the minimum line, minimum interval, which is in this example is interval 4. Okay, minimum. So if a number interval now is 1, 2, or 3, it is considered not due 1, 2, 3, not due. Okay. So after that, when it comes to interval 4, that means when the number is now is interval 4, between interval 4 to interval 35, the average line is stated here, 4 to 35, we consider in range. So in range is the interval you should look for. When you want to select a number, you should select a number which is in range. Okay, for this particular number, in fact, I'm using the 0158. This number, I use it for the previous webinar to explain this concept. In fact, later this number came up four times after the analysis. Came up 4 times, two second prices more. So for this it is based on this number 0158 So the best range to buy this number is from 4 to 35, where it is in range And after that, if you follow this number, if let's say the number go beyond the maximum interval line, which is in this case is 35. So 35 and above, we call it overdue. That means if the number, no, if this number, the interval has gone past 35 interval, we call it overdue. So overdue can be very long, no? The overdue, we don't know actually sometimes when it will hit. For example, in this case, I can go up to 72 draw, then it hit, Okay. So to recap, the best time to buy is when the number is in range. Okay. If the number is not due, also not a good time to buy. All right. Later I will show you why. Not due, and even overdue is not a good time to buy. That's why we say when it's not due, stay. That means don't buy yet. Okay, just look and see. Then if you go into in range, then you can start buying now. Okay, that means in this number, for this number is from interval 4 to 35. After the maximum interval line, which is 35, then again you don't buy, you hold. You hold. In fact, anything above the maximum line, we call it overdue. No? We call it coma. The number is in coma. So it can be a long coma or it can be a short coma. For example, this uh, number here, right? This it hit down here at 72 interval. We call it the weekend after a long coma, long coma. Some even go more than 72, even past 100. There's a certain number. So 72 is not actually the longest. Uh, then over here you can see some coma, but short overdue, right? It's not very long, right? 43. It just passed above the maximum line. It's still considered coma. The moment it go to, above the maximum line, we consider it in coma. I think many people still don't understand this concept. So a number is considered overdue. One is go above the maximum line. And as I said again, the maximum line is different from each number. No, some number may be 40, some number may be 60, and so on. For this type of number, like 24 combination number, usually it's shorter and compared to say triple AB, the maximum line can go up to maybe even 100. No, because we actually work out based on the actual performance of the number. We take their hit over a period of time can be up to 10 years. But normally the chart will show up to, for ABCD, maybe 5 years. This is about 5 years time. This is from 14 April to 2017. For some number like AAAB number, the 4 combination number, the interval is longer because it come at a long interval. It's not like ABCD number. It come much shorter interval. Okay. So now you understand this. I want to explain to you. I want to recap. But what is the definition of coma? What is the definition of coma? Okay, so that you can again have an idea how to go about this. Okay. Let me just explain further on those 40 numbers awaken from coma. They are actually you can see from here, right? 5 possible states. I think before I talk about these 5 possible states, I better uh, recap what is the definition of 40 awaken from coma again. Because if you understand this definition, then you will be less confused. Otherwise, you will be keep asking me what you mean by awaken from coma, when a number is in coma, when a number is awakened. So when a number hit a price, right, after a long overdue, so can be just overdue, not necessarily long overdue. Okay, it is said to be awaken from coma, meaning that a number has gone into overdue and then it hits. It is considered awakened. That means it has come out from coma already. Okay, and what I mean by this, I just show you this chart again. You see, let's say this number, right, at this point of time, I mean, there are coma at various point of time for this particular number. Let's say at this point of time, this is 72 draw, then it hits, right? Once it hit down here, it considered a weaken already. When it hit, no, after it goes into overdue. Okay, just I was saying that there's some going to overdue in a short interval only. 43. This one is in 44 interval. This one is in 34. So long it is above the maximum interval line. When after that it hits, we consider it awaken from coma. Okay. So what is the other point I was saying? Thereafter, it is very likely that the number will hit a price or prices at short interval. What I mean is that when it hit at the after we come from coma, right? The next time it hit, usually at very short interval one. You can see from here, right? It hit, that means awaken. Then later it will hit at a much shorter interval, which is always in the Inrange period. Like for example, this one, after it hit this at OverDue, then it hit at I think only 14, 14 drop. You see, it's in range, right? From here to here is in range. Then after it hit again at interval 6, again is in range. And hit again at interval 2, even this one NotDue also hit. It will come at a short interval, but most of the time it will hit within the in range period. Most of the time. Sometimes it may hit, even NotDue will hit, because as I said, it will come at very short interval. So short interval can be even NotDue. After 2 draw or 1 draw, the number will come. Like for example, this one, it awakened from here, right? You can see it came after 1 draw. After 1 draw means that it hit at OverDue, awaken from coma. It hit again immediately, immediately. So sometimes it happens like that, but most of the time we'll hit from the minimum to the maximum range, which is actually for this case is from interval 4 to 35. So you get a point? Okay, let me go back to this 5 states. Now this 5 state again, I need to explain in more detail because many of you still don't quite get the concept right, so I'm going to explain to you in detail and giving you example of what is awaken 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0. Okay, let me just bring up another screen. Okay, the next screen will show you some examples. When a number is awakened from coma, example, awakened from coma 1. Okay, 1 means the number go into OverDue, and then it hit one time. And then the next time it hit is here, which is at the low interval. That means it didn't go into the second OverDue. Okay, this is you call awaken 1 because it only hit OverDue 1 time and then it hit. Awaken 2, we call it a double awaken. You see this number going to coma, interval 73. Then again, it go into another coma again, happen to be again interval 73. In other words, after the first awaken, it didn't hit any number at low interval. No, it didn't hit. But when it hit, is again it go into an OverDue. Then it hit. So that means it has twice awaken. That means only it doesn't hit below the range under the low interval range, but it hit again at another OverDue. So they call it double awaken. Usually, even the number of double awaken, you can expect the number to hit again before the maximum line. Mostly, that means it should be in range. At the moment now, let's say it's 28, right? So it's still in range. The maximum line is about 40 for this number. So that's why when the number hit after the second awaken, that means second OverDue, you can very confident to expect the number to come within the range already. Short interval, it will come. Then we have another one called a awaken 3. We call it also triple awaken. So this number actually have 3 OverDue hits. Then it may hit again. Very likely again will hit before the maximum range before the maximum range, meaning it will be in range so from the minimum to the maximum from this point, very likely it's unlikely to go overdue again for the fourth time. Very unlikely. Very confidently you see a triple overdue you can confidently buy the number. Once you go into in range you can start buying, and it's very unlikely it will go into the fourth coma. Very unlikely. So that's why when you see a triple coma, once the interval is in range, you can start buying already. Okay. Then we come to the Awaken 4. This Awaken 4 in the whole database of 4D number, this is the only one so far we discovered. Only one. So that's why I say very unlikely that number will come into oh dear, have I lost my video again? Audio.
Charles, it's okay, no problem.
Can you hear?
It's okay.
Can
Clear, yeah, still clear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. I think Mike, if anything, because I mute everybody. If you find any issue, you can unmute yourself and tell me the issue, the problem. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. Yeah. Okay. So as I said, this number, I think it just happened. It just came up from a fourth coma. Anybody know what this number is? What this number? Anybody know? Came up from fourth coma. No? Nobody knows. That means you're not following the coma system. Because you are following, you should be able to tell me already. Actually, I was telling you, right?
Master.
Yeah.
Master.
Yeah.
It's a number 0789. It's a comma.
Sorry. Don't ask question first. Let me finish everything first. Yeah. If I ask you, you try to answer But if you you have other question,
okay, thank you.
Leave it to the end when I finish. Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is this number, the number I can tell you now is 0338. 0338. So now it just hit the fourth coma, and then now it's at interval 2, I think, interval 2. So you can expect this number to hit when it's in range. So now it's interval 2, it can hit any time. But I would recommend you to buy when it is at least the minimum interval, which is actually interval 12, I think, for this number, interval 12. So it's still too early. And then it should hit a price well before the maximum range. The maximum range is this red line, which is about 52 interval, around there. You can check the detail on the software. Yeah. So it's very unlikely going to the fifth coma. That means fifth time overdue. Very unlikely. So this number you can keep a watch. This number. Remember 0338. Okay. Then we have this. This part is something which many people also find it not easy to understand. I try to now explain to you clearly what you mean by Awaken 0. If you have the program, you'll see certain number Awaken, the status is 0, right? 0 is actually the number after after it awaken from coma, right? This point is awaken from coma, correct? Because it's once above I told you the maximum line considered overdue. Once it hit, and then it hit again, after it come up from awaken from coma, it hit again. We consider it's already awakened, it's already awakened, so it is actually 0. That means if it's not hit yet, then we call it awaken. Once it hit again, that's after the awaken, we don't consider it awaken already. In fact, it's already awakened like just now, earlier on. So now is for a better use of word, I call it enlightened. Enlightened. So you can differentiate between awaken and enlightened. Meaning that if he hit already from awaken from coma, then he hit another price again, it is considered awaken 0 already. That means it is no longer considered awaken. It's already awakened, right now, because it's already awakened at this point. Then at this point, it should be just, that's why I call it enlightened. For a better word, then you can distinguish between enlightened and then awaken. Okay, enlightened is here. So after it hit, it can keep on hitting at low interval, right? I told you, right now. So that means this is also another point to take note. When a number is enlightened, that means it hit again after the awaken from coma. It should be able to hit many prices at low interval. So it's a good thing to take note. So after it hit again after the awaken from coma, then it will continue hitting at low interval. If you want me to recap, I show you the chart again. Okay, see this number I told you just now, right? This is the latest interval down here. So you go back until I told you way back to 14 June 2017, right? So in the process, they have a lot of like awaken from coma, right? You see, all these are awaken over time. So the latest awaken is down here. Okay, now you see, we take this example first. This example. In the earlier years, this 2018, it awakened from coma here, right? Then after that, I told you, once you awaken from coma, it should hit at low interval, right? Correct? So you see, it hit at interval 4. Interval 4. Then it hit again at interval 20, I think. 20. Is it 20? I can't see clearly. So let me just zoom in a bit more. Okay, so you see, they hit at very low interval for a period of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 times, and then after 7 times, it go into coma again, right now. Then it hit. So what I'm trying to tell you just now, right? Once it hit awaken from coma, it will start to hit at low interval. And now this one is called the enlightened. This one, that means after the awaken, it hit here, right? It's enlightened. So after enlightened, it should keep hitting at low interval. That's why the enlightened number when it hit again after the awaken from coma is important because you can from here you can follow through by the number. So you hit at very low interval, and after that go into coma again. You see the next time it hit again at low interval, and then it went to coma, and then they hit at low interval, and then there's one more awaken from coma here. You see after that they hit at all within the range all within the range I told you in range. That means from the interval 5 to 35. You see? Yeah. So you should look at the latest awaken from coma, not the history. No, history I just show you for example, for illustration. So you want to check whether the number now is awakened or not. You should look at the latest awaken. So in this case, right, the latest awaken is here. It's a double coma. You can see here, overdue hit one time, and then overdue again hit another time. So this is called a double coma, this one. Remember I told you, so long it hit above the maximum line, it consider coma and it's overdue. So you see after the second coma, right, it hit a low interval already, right now, which is again in range. This is whole thing is in range right here. Then now the big blue circle is representing the current interval. No? That means we don't know when it will hit, but we can safely say that it should hit before the maximum line. Because the in range is up to the maximum line. So now I think it's a 30 something, 30, no, 20 something, 25 like that. So you can expect you can hit within the 10 draw up to 35. Very good chance. Because it's seldom, I told you, go to the third coma. That means if you go above the maximum line here, interval 35, it is going to the third coma, which is, I tell you, very unlikely. So that's why this is important to know when the coma is. Right. So when the maximum line. Okay, there is another point I want to explain now, which is also very important. Okay, some people have asked me you see, the in range, right, is from interval from 5 to 35, right? Quite long, right? 5 to 35 is a span of how long? 20 draw, right now. So if you want to buy for 20 draw, also quite long, right? Isn't it? So the number in range, it can be from, I told you, from the minimum, which is interval 4 to 35, which is very long, right? So you can even shorten down to from minimum to average interval. That means from 4 to 15 interval. No? So the other, that means you divide the in range into two sector. That means from minimum 4 to average line, which is 15, and then from 15, interval 15 to interval 35, right now. So then you can determine whether I should buy from minimum to average, or I want to buy from average line to maximum line to cut down your play time because otherwise from in range is 5 to 35, right? It's still very long, right? So I don't know whether you got any idea which range to take. Whether you take, in fact, we have already described this for you, from minimum to average.
Minimum to average is the best. Minimum to average is the best.
We call it in range 1, IR1. Then from interval to maximum line, we call it IR2. That means that range, we call it IR2. That means 4 to 15, we call it IR1 range. Then from 15 to 35, we call it IR2 range. So which range is good to buy? I mean, between these two ranges, do you know which range to choose?
Minimum to average.
Hmm?
As long as you see the
Average.
dot, too many dots out there, that is the good point, hitting point.
Yeah.
For what I choose.
Okay, actually, we have made a study. I have made a study. The best range to buy is always, almost always, is from minimum to average range to buy. And this is backed up by real data. It's not just I now guess. Later I can prove to you why you should buy the IR1. Now, okay, now look at this chart, right? Now the interval is here for this number. The interval is here. The big blue is the interval. Is it in the IR1 or IR2 range now? Can anyone tell me? Just now I already explained to you.
IR2. Can you hear me, Charles? IR2.
IR2, yeah. You're right. Because I told you from average line to maximum line, right, is IR2. So now it's IR2. So it's not so good lah. The chances is not so good. If it's just now, it is the interval earlier on. If the interval is the current interval is between 4 to 15, there's a better chance. You understand what I mean? Okay, if you, I will explain again later how I arrive at this IR1 or IR2, which is a better range to buy. I'll show you some real example. Okay, so let me just maybe bring up the other program. Bring up this 4DGM. This is the program able to tell you. Okay, let me just show you one example. Maybe 1299. This is a number which is considered a good number. Now I show you the graph. Okay, if you remember, we have actually come up with this data here, which is very useful. You must know how to read this data. I have explained it in this help file. If you have seen it, you understand. Okay, now you see, now the interval is at this point, you know. It is in range interval 7. Okay, now can you tell me whether it's in IR1 or IR2?
IR1. IR1.
IR1, right? Because it is between minimum 4 to 24. Now the interval is 7. Okay, so 7 is
3 more draw to get top.
IR1. If you look, in fact, if you look at this set of data here, it tells you a lot of things about this number. No? Current interval is 7 in range, recommended buy. Now this one is interval 7. So okay, we have this. Just like I told you. NotDue is below interval 4 and below lah. There's only 7 hits. Okay, that's why I said NotDue no good to buy, right? I told you, right? 7 hits only. Then you see in range 1, from interval 4 to 23, that means the IR1 they call it. Got 14 hits. Okay. Then IR2, which is the upper range, we call it IR2, right? Average to maximum, it is total hit is only 11. So compared to this, IR1 got more hits, right? So you should go for IR1 now. All right. OverDue also not good. That means OverDue, when the number pass this maximum line, the overall hits it only 7 times. Right now, same as NotDue. NotDue also 7 times. Whereas in range, you see, 14 times, IR1, IR2 got 11 times higher. And this happened to almost any number. No? IR1 is usually the best. If you don't believe me, you throw me one number. I check for you. Any number, throw me one number. Hello? Any number? Any number, throw me.
029.
Nobody got any number.
4478.
4478. Okay. This number, if you look at the chart again, okay. NotDue 8 times. OverDue 9 times. See, OverDue and NotDue is about the same hits, very low. You see, IR1 got 10 times. IR2 got 12 times. In this case, IR2 got more hits, for this number.
Oh, I see.
Got slightly more, 10 versus 12. Still, in range is better, but I would say most of the time is IR1 better. Okay, let me just show you another number, just quickly. Okay, 01849. This one is Awaken 1. You know why Awaken 1? You see down here? Only 1 time OverDue. So when you want to look for Awaken number, actually you can look at the chart here, you can see already. Okay, this is Awaken 1. After 1 time, now it is still waiting to strike not strike yet interval 8 now. Okay, interval 8, current interval. So now this number very obvious is in IR1, right? Right now, this range. IR1, you see, from 4 interval to 15 interval, right? Got 15 hits. You look at all these hits, these are all the hits, you count, you got 15. Okay, IR2 actually is the upper part, which is from 16 to 28, 11 hits. So IR1 is better, right? More hits, what? 15 compared to IR2, 11 hits, right now. Here again, I want to tell you, NotDue always low, 10 hits. This OverDue even worse for this number, 3 hits only. You see, you can count from here, 1, 2, 3 hits only. So that's why I was saying, when a number is OverDue, don't buy. Some people thought OverDue means good number, long time income coming. Not true, no?
0.149 more row and break.
Last time I was, before I analyzed number, I thought OverDue very good. Until I analyzed the data, it's not true. OverDue is the worst, followed by NotDue. So you must buy a number when in range, okay? So I hope now I explained to you very clearly. When you have to choose a number, choose the number when it's in range. And each number is different. The IR1, IR2 is different, but most of the time, IR1 would have the most hit. I can tell you, maybe 10 numbers, 80% of the numbers, or 8 numbers would have a better hit in IR1. That is for sure. You don't believe me? You those who got a program can go and study now. In fact, by now you should do. I give you this data. You should go and study already.
I believe.
You believe me, huh?
Mm.
If you don't study, you don't know where is the best time to buy. Where is the best time to hit? You don't know. You just guess out only. So now, I think I've explained quite clearly all this Awaken 1, 2, 3, 4, or Awaken 0. Now you know, right? So any question on this? Better ask now.
No question.
No question now. Okay, very good. So let me just go on for the next topic. Before that, let me just